I noticed that The Sopranos, BoJack, and Breaking Bad were some of the most popular and most watched shows over the past 30 years. Sopranos from 99 to '07, Breaking Bad in 2008 to 2013, and BoJack from 2014 to 2020. Where one left off, the other came in to fill that void. There are quite a few comparisons and contrasts I'd like to make about these series, particularly regarding how they have become the modern artistic representation of modern American masculinity. These shows go over issues that arise from childhood that are directly related to the American expectation of living, the persistent failure of parenting that we have all suffered from, the cause and effect of these core problems, and how those effects are reflected in how we navigate our relationships with others and with ourselves. These three shows provide a very specific and common voice of the American male experience, and what is interesting is that the common reaction to that is to not care about that viewpoint, since we've been told that viewpoint is already overstated. On one hand, we can agree with that, but we should also consider the fact that a common theme between these shows is the main characters having a strong feeling of being ignored. They ask, if we are supposed to be so important, why isn't anyone actually listening to us? By deep diving all of three of these series, I think we can uncover a lot of answers to issues we face today. Let's try to learn from these points of view by using mistakes of the past to better our futures. In a society that has framed itself as many different political inclinations and power dynamics, it's important to see that it's not so much about what is immediately perceived, more than it is about trauma reactions that have not been addressed. You can barely get a straight conversation out of anyone without them feeling overly defensive, overly self-conscious, and overcompensating for insecurity or guilt. Modern American society is not any one way that it claims to be, or that others may describe it as. Most people are reacting to everyday life through layers of pain that we've all been told is normal to hold inside. South Park creators Matt Stone and Trey Parker gave us very valuable storytelling advice that we can see had worked in BoJack, The Sopranos, and Breaking Bad's favor. If you use the words "and then" while you're telling a story, it's a bad story because it implies that each incident stands alone and doesn't provide causation in between the incidents. When a story has no causation, no purpose, then it can still work, but maybe not as well as it could have. If you use cause and effect, the story becomes something that sticks with people. These pieces of media are so effective in storytelling because they follow a natural progression of events. The characters feel more real, relatable, and complex. You can relate to crime bosses and washed-out actors because you understand their motives. Taking scenarios that are already interesting or controversial but adding your point of view into it makes a unique story that only you can tell properly. Break out of the thought crime and jolt your life.